Hello and welcome to the second hour of Agape's Top 10. Time is 3 on the 9th of February 2021. And today we are joined by Rob Duthie.
Yeah.
So Zadie's going to read his bio.
Rob Duthie is a songwriter and producer living in Port Elizabeth and is a creator of the electronic pop project Warmer Heights. Writing songs produced in his bedroom, he sees music as a channel for creative expression and connection, ultimately as a vehicle to point to Jesus and glorify him.
Before we get to know him, we're going to play his song Old Friend.
Sadie.
Trying to find a purpose, looking at the search.
Do you know Division? Okay. Do you know Division TV?
Yeah, I've heard of them.
Your song is familiar to me.
Wow, really?
Yes.
Yo, those guys are incredible. Thanks. I get a lot of like Matthew Mole and stuff. So. I get a lot of Matthew Mole, so it's nice to hear another artist. Like, yeah. I don't mind Matthew Mole.
Nothing prepared you for the
I don't even know who's Matthew Moore.
Matthew Mole. He's like probably the biggest. Okay, in terms of like indie pop, he's the biggest South African artist.
South African even.
Yeah.
He had a concert the other day.
Jeremy Loops. I don't know if you know Jeremy Loops. He's a bit like Jeremy Loops. Yeah. But that's a very specific genre. That's like folk, indie vibes. So it's been a minute since I listened to the song properly.
Where did you produce it?
In my room.
Okay. Yeah, that's a sound tech right there.
Yeah, just a laptop, some keys.
Yeah. Awesome, bro.
I thought your room was fully equipped.
No, it's pretty, I mean, okay, like, it depends what you're comparing it to. Like, to someone just starting out, just like, I've got everything I need. Like, it's not at all like a professional
But
studio.
it sounds so nice though.
Oh, thanks, but I kind of just embrace the limitations of having a small space. So, like, I went with an electronic sound. Probably should say this for the interview, but anyway.
And any interview and the guitar parts and stuff like that, was that MIDI keys as well?
No, that
Real
guitar, I've got an electric guitar.
Oh, you were playing, you know?
Questions for later in the interview.
We're just practicing, we're just getting warmed up. Trust me, I can talk well.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, I should ask me about this songwriting challenge something.
Okay, so
Just saying, just ask me about it.
okay.
There's no medication for
I saw that on the Instagram actually.
No way. Yeah, so that's happening. Getting a bunch of people to join. Just for the fun, not for anything specific.
Are you going to be noted on Agape's Top 10?
I have no idea how this process works.
Is it going to be noted on Agape's Top 10?
Yep.
Is that like a playlist you guys have?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
And you must tell your friends, your family to vote for you.
Oh, is it like a competition? or
Yeah,
something?
it is.
It is.
Oh, cool.
At the end of every week, the winner gets a 500 rand
Oh,
cash prize.
Stop. That's
Still going.
That's too good, eh?
yeah, that's not the end of the song. People always clap there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can imagine that on the show.
Yeah, I played it at varsity and everyone's like, yeah, and I'm like, cool, just I like it when artists like put two songs into one, so I was like, let me do that as well. Sounds like a vibe.
Cool.
Are we going to play music though?
Okay, guys, go now.
And that was Old Friend by Rob Duthie. Rob, I want us to talk about the song Old Friend.
Yeah. What's up?
So tell me about the song Old Friend. Were you writing the song for an old friend, or what is it about?
Yeah. So, kind of the idea started out, I was thinking about my grandparents and just like people in general as you get older, like ending up in old age homes and oftentimes just like really overlooked in society because like you had your day, like you were the cool kid on the block, and then like it's almost like when you get to the end of your life, even for the family, they'll come visit you and all that, but like for the most part it's almost like they get pushed to the side, and I was like, man, that sucks, like that's not cool. And so the song was kind of just looking at that and then wanting to just like almost reach out and say like, I'll be by your side, and encouraging people to reach out to those loved ones that they haven't like made contact with in a while. So that's kind of what the song's all about.
And I think the song is so relevant for last year. But you released the song only on January, right?
January last
1st
year.
of January.
Yeah.
It's relevant in terms of we were in isolation and we never really got in contact with our loved ones.
Yeah.
It's a very beautiful song though.
Thanks very much.
The first time I heard it, I was nearly in tears.
Yeah. I've had some people say they can't listen to it because it's quite sad. I'm like, well, I mean, I'm glad it speaks to people. I don't want to make people cry, but like, I had a couple moments when I was making this song where it got pretty emotional. So it's cool that it translates.
So you produced the song by yourself?
Yeah. So over the couple of years, I've been getting together a couple of the equipment I need. Basically, just laptop, MIDI keyboard, guitar, and just wrote the song, produced it, released it. Had a lot of learning to do because I'd never done it before last year. But YouTube tutorials, man, that's where you figure these things out. So, yeah.
I also heard that you have your own YouTube page.
Yes, I do. So I just on a whim last year, I was like, hey, it's lockdown. I've got way too much time on my hands. So let's do a couple of these Warmer Heights show like episodes where so far it's been, I just challenged myself to make a track in like an hour or two. And then like, just so it's like lots of time pressure.
It is amazing.
Yeah, and then
a track in an hour.
Yeah, but it's not like a finished song. It'll be like minutes or something like that. And it was like a genre blend. So I'd be like, yeah, it's gonna be electronic and I don't know, gorm or something like that, and just trying to mix different genres together. So I've only done like 3 or 4, but I'm keen to do some more. So that's one of the goals for this year.
Why the name Warmer Heights?
That is a good question. Funny story, my family actually thought it was the dumbest name ever. They're very supportive in general, but they're also like, my mom's an artist, she's a portrait painter, and so we always like giving each other crits and stuff. Anyway, but so the name kind of came from, well, the suburb Warmer Heights. I stay in Warmer, but Warmer Heights is nearby. And I knew that people would pronounce it wrong if it had an L, not an R, so I was like, hey, let's just make Warmer Heights. So that's the literal thing, is that I like to write about things which are very like domestic and mundane, but then give it like an interesting spin, like an old person in an old age home, for example. And then the deeper meaning behind it is like, to me, it brings to mind just something better in the future, something more positive, going to the Warmer Heights. And then if you want to go really deep, I only thought about this kind of meaning like afterwards, but I think it's a vibe. So basically, I thought about Moses on the Mount Sinai and how the fire of God came down. I was like, that's Warmer Heights as well. So that's the different interpretations for it.
What inspired the Warmer Heights project?
So I'm at varsity. I'm studying music, music tech student, and I don't want to be a music teacher so much. I don't want to be in an orchestra so much. My goal was to like make music, and I found myself in second year like, hey yo, if I'm gonna do this, then let me just do this. And so I decided to kind of just start with a project that wasn't under my own name, so that if I in a year from now I really don't like these tracks, I can just kind of ditch it and pretend they never happened. And so yeah, the project was really just a space for me to learn. Like I said, I hadn't done this before, so learning all the aspects from writing to mastering, and just being free to express and just create for the fun of it. So that's what it was all about.
Going back to your song, Old Friend, how long did it take you to produce the song?
So I wish it could always be this quick, but it basically took me 2 weeks. because that was when it was in the holidays. So I released Good Listener on January 1st. And then I basically just went straight from that into the next song. And it was like hours every day. I felt like I was going to go insane because the number of times I had to listen to the song and make the little tweaks and everything like that. So 2 weeks, but I mean, it can take months for some songs. It can be quick for others. So it's hard to put it down to like a science. Yeah.
When did you find out you were passionate about music?
So my dad has always had a love for music and always had music playing around the house. Even though he's not like musically inclined, that he doesn't play anything. But so from young, I always had a love for music, and I would sing along to all these different songs. And then I started getting guitar lessons with a lady called Ali Gooch. You guys might know her; she's pretty legit. So I did that for a couple of years, and then grade 10, I took music at school. But I never thought of it as a career. I was like, this is just fun on the side. And then I took a gap year with our church in 2017, and through that year I really felt the Lord just calling me to study music for one, and then to pursue that further. I was going to do architecture, but yeah, I'm glad I didn't.
I'm glad you didn't either. We're going to have this wonderful song of yours.
Thanks.
So you play the guitar. Do you play any other instruments?
Yeah, so I used to play drums. I mean, I still kind of do. I just go over to the church building and jam sometimes, but I'm not very good. But guitar is the main instrument, and then at varsity I'm doing piano as well.
I want us to speak about the creative process. How is it? How do you create a song since you produce the song all by yourself?
Yeah, so, oh man, I love talking about creative process. It's like my favorite thing in the world, because I have this firm belief that if you put pressure on yourself to try and create something like incredible, then you'll just be paralyzed by the fear of it not being good enough. And so I really try to adopt an approach that says like, let me just make a lot and then see which is the best and just enjoy it. But for that song, for Old Friend, it starts with an idea or theme. So I'm like, okay, I have this thing that I want to communicate, and generally having a strong reason for creating a song helps me to finish it, because it can get really, really tiresome. But so I'll start with an idea, and then just pen and paper, just writing, jamming on some chords, and normally it'll be nothing like how it started in the beginning, because it's revisions and changing stuff, throwing things out. But yeah, basically taking it from a song, and then I'll just record layers, doing electronic drums and all that kind of stuff, all in the laptop. And then after that, then I had to mix it and master it, and then just upload it for distribution.
Do you just distribute the song without asking someone for approval?
Yeah. So music, I'm not licensed at this stage in terms of like being with SAMA or something like that, because you have to present them with some music, and then they have to like go through a whole qualification process. And I was like, well, let me just first get some stuff out there, and then I can go through that thing. But I do have an online distributor. It's a service called DistroKid. It's super affordable, which is amazing. And so I can release unlimited tracks, and they push it out to all the different platforms, and then I get streaming royalties. Obviously, as a small artist, I don't get like a whole ton. I'm not balling, but it's nice to have a little bit of side cash, and obviously that can continue to grow. So yeah, that's how the licensing works.
What have been some of your favorite highlights of creating music?
I think the first thing that springs to mind is I did a remix for a friend, like my friends in a band, and they do like, I guess you could say neo-soul type of jazzy vibes, and I made like a dance track out of that, which was just so much fun. But then that ended up, before it was officially released, my friend played it at his wedding, and so everyone was just kind of jamming out to that song. And for me, I think that was just super exciting, because I actually don't enjoy performing that much, because it's like a lot of pressure, and if you make mistakes, then I mean, like, yeah, anyway, I always come away from it enjoying it, but that was just epic. So I could do something, like go away, create something in the studio, and then actually enjoy it with people. That was epic. I mean, there have been a couple of performances. I played at Holiday Coffee Shop in Walmer. I think for me, just the highlight is clicking the release on any song when it's about to happen. I just like, yes, it's done. Stoked on life. So yeah.
How many songs have you released?
I've released 3 songs and 1 remix. So yeah, that's that's it for now.
Do you play the instruments in the songs, or do you?
Yeah.
arrange
So
it?
it's all me at this stage. I'm keen to collaborate with people, and I'm probably going to do a lot more of that this year. Actually, just a friend of mine released a song that I produced for her, and there was another guy on instruments as well as myself, so that was cool. But the reason why I wanted to do it myself is that I feel that if you have some experience in something, then you're able to communicate your ideas a lot better when you're collaborating with someone in the future. So if I'm working with a guy who's playing bass on another track, I can more clearly express what I'm keen for because I've done it a little bit. And so that's why I wanted to do it myself. Also, I can't afford to pay session musicians and like mastering engineers and stuff. So I was like, let me just take it as an opportunity to learn.
So why did you choose hip hop specifically? Like you could have chosen so many other genres, but you went for hip hop. Why?
So I think this whole journey about finding your sound is, it's easy to get really tied up on that, and to think like, oh, I need to find out my sound before you've actually created anything. But I kind of, through just doing it, I've learned that your sound is just what you like. So it's just choosing between this drum track or that drum track, or this chord progression or that one. That is your sound. So I didn't kind of sit back and go, oh, I want to make it like, I don't know, hip-hop influenced pop sound. So it was really just like, for this song, I was like, I want it to be a vibe, and so that's why there was a beat. I wanted it to be moody, and so that's why there's like synthy stuff going on. So yeah, and obviously I'm listening to different influences and taking inspiration from other people. Beatenberg is my all-time favorite musicians. That band is just epic, so I take a lot of inspiration from them. Kanye West, I mean, not that I'm on either of these guys' levels, but like obviously taking inspiration from them and just kind of merging it together to create something new.
Adapting to change.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, so your YouTube channel, do you do the songwriting challenge on it only, or what do you really do on the YouTube channel?
So the YouTube channel up till now is basically just making a track in an hour, and then a few months ago I released a video just talking about what it's like to do this whole like independent musician thing by yourself. So I was just reflecting on that for the first 6 months. So it's not a very active YouTube channel, but yeah, it might be soon.
So you're a very religious person. Were you a religious person when you were younger, or only recently?
Yeah, so I grew up in a Christian family, and I was like in Sunday school doing all those things, and I always knew that I wasn't good at my core. Like from a young age, I was a menace as a child. I was terrible to teachers, parents. Like I was just a handful for sure. But so I knew that I needed a savior. I knew that I needed God, but I never had a relationship with Him. And that was until about in grade 7. I don't remember the day. Some people know like exact day and hour. I don't know the day, but in Sunday school, I remember I had a flu, and then they prayed for me, and I was completely healed. And I was like, "Dang, this thing's real, man!" I was like, "We out here sticking like cotton wool on sheep, but actually, like, these stories are true. You know, God is real." And so that for me, I was like, "Wow, that's pretty cool." So then I gave my life to the Lord like some months after that, and I've never looked back. There's been times where it's really hectic, and my faith has been on the rocks, but yeah, man, He's faithful to finish the work that He starts in us. And so I went to a Christian school, but I think for me, I've always known that you can't build this faith on anything but Jesus Himself. Like, your friends won't carry you, your family, like, going to church is vital, and it's a command from the Lord, but that's actually not the thing that your faith is built on. So yeah.
Was grade 7 the first time you realized God was in your life?
Yeah, pretty much. So like I say, I heard of all the stuff I'd been in Sunday school from young, but that's when it was something that for me that I believed for myself, not because I was told to. So yeah.
So I want us to talk about the challenge. Tell us more about the challenge. Maybe Zadie and I can even participate in the challenge.
Yeah, 100%. So today is officially day 2 of this 24 songs in 24 days songwriting challenge that I'm doing. It's actually the thing which kicked off this whole songwriting career of mine. It feels weird to call it a career, it's too early for that. But anyway, in 2019, that's what I was saying earlier, how I decided, no, I need to take this seriously and I want to get started. So I said I'd write a song every day for 24 days. Most of them were complete garbage. Some of them were, most of them weren't finished either. But that's what got the ball rolling for me, to just getting into the practice of creating. So I'm doing it again, and I've just put on WhatsApp and Instagram and whatnot saying, like, guys, if anyone's keen to join, even if it's not songwriting, maybe it's poetry or something else, just to commit to doing it for 24 days. And it's been really cool. Like, some people are like really going for it. So even my little brother, who's super musical, but he's never tried to like write lyrics and stuff, he's doing it. So that's super cool to see.
I want you to explain something in your bio. He sees music as a channel for creative expression and connection, ultimately as a vehicle to point to Jesus and glorify him. Could you please explain that?
Yeah, so there's kind of like two sides to what I feel passionate about and what I feel called to, and that's the worship side. I feel called, like, I love leading worship, and I feel called to that as well. And then there's the side of just writing music and using it as a vehicle for connection. So I've already seen how just sharing stuff that I see, things that I feel through music is an incredible way to connect with people who would never care, people who would you wouldn't have any overlap with. And I think that's been an amazing privilege, is to use this gift to communicate with people, and it just really builds a bridge. If you meet someone and you both dig soccer, then that's a vehicle for connection. If you meet someone and you both, I don't know, like, want to travel to a certain country, then that's a point of contact. And so music is just another one of those. So that's the one side, is the connection. And it's just been amazing. Like, I just chat to people and they're like, what do you do? And I'm like, oh, I make music. And they're like, what? That's so cool. And so it's a nice conversation starter. And then in terms of just the creative expression, I have a real need to be creative and to just create stuff, because that's just the way that I'm wired. And I said to my brother one time, I wasn't writing songs for a little while, and I was like, if I don't release another song, I feel like I'm gonna die. So obviously it's not that dramatic. I was just being over the top, but just to express. I think, like, we've been created, like, God is expressive. The world around us is so intricate, so detailed, and we have that same, like, DNA inside of us to want to create. And some people say they're not creative. I think everyone has the capacity to do that if they just take the risk. Anyway, I don't want to go on too long.
So are you and your younger brother close? I'm guessing from the amount of times you've mentioned him.
Yeah. So I have 3 brothers, and my youngest brother, so the oldest 2 have already moved out, and we spend a lot of time together. He plays bass, and we're always chatting and encouraging each other. Not recently, but I encouraged him to get started with his own producing. So he's got free software called Cakewalk, which is super legit. Like, I was just blown away with the software. And so, we spend a lot of time together encouraging each other to create. We haven't actually collaborated that much because we both got very strong ideas about what we want musically, but we are planning a project together, which is pretty cool. I can't say too much.
Did he help you with some of the instrumental work in your songs?
No. Both him and my older brother were kind of keen to get involved, but, like, I don't have the experience of creating music to be able to, like, bring someone else into that. Like, as I've released a couple songs, now I feel more confident to collaborate with other people because I kind of know the process. But at that stage, again, it was just about doing everything in order to learn as much as possible. So, yeah.
So what's next for Rob? What can we expect from you?
Yeah, so little plug if you want to check me out on Instagram, Warmer Hearts. What's next is So I've just started working for our church part-time. I'm at Oxygen Life Church, and I'm working in the music side of things. So that's going to be one of the big priorities for this year, is developing other songwriters and musicians, and helping other people to bring their gifts to the fore and to release stuff. For myself personally, I've got plans I'm working on an EP, which probably will not come out this year. I'm really wanting to take my time with this one. The stuff I've released up to now has been very much like, let's just get this thing out there, let's get that practice. And now I kind of want to take my time and just do it, like be more perfectionistic with it. But yeah, I'm organizing, like keen to organize various events. Want to organize a house party type of situation for a Christian house party where it's all original music and like just getting together, having a jam. Yeah, so I mean a bunch of things, I guess.
What does worship mean to you, going back to the religious side of the story?
Yeah, worship is responding to who God is. I think a lot of times worship has become this strange commercialized product in many churches. It sometimes can become very self-centered. But I believe that like real worship is just seeing who God is and glorifying Him as a result. And people talk about I saw another one of the podcasts about a worship lifestyle, and I believe like we created to worship in anything that we do, anything God gives us to do. I think coming together in song is one of the ways that we see in the Bible. Early church, that they would get together, and it says that each one has a psalm, a hymn, or a spiritual song to offer to the Lord. So for me, worship, yes, it's in that context of a congregation getting together, lifting up the Lord's name. But yeah, I sometimes hear people talk about like worship is just doing, worship is a lifestyle, which I agree, is that all of our lives are meant to be offerings to the Lord and worship. But I think sometimes, and I don't want to be too controversial here, but I think sometimes we can just almost do whatever we were going to do anyway and say it's worship to the Lord. So I think that like obedience is really worship. The purest form of worship was Jesus dying on the cross, because He said, "Not my will, but yours be done." That's worship. Obedience. So yeah, so that's quite heavy, but anyway.
Very sweet. Do you have anything else to say, Tally?
No, I don't.
Okay, we're going to be playing his song, Agape,
Yes.
and then we're going to come back and ask you a few more questions.
Cool.
We've switched roles, so we don't really know what we need
Yeah.
to do.
All good. So how many trips have you had in here? I mean, this year, did you go through lockdown or that kind of?
Yeah, we went through.
Nice.
In fact, we started with lockdown.
Is this something that you've been wanting to do for a long time?
Yes, actually, when God gave me the vision to start the whole thing, that's actually the name of the business, Agape Audition Machines. It's got 7 branches in it. One of them is so there's 6 more. One is teaching music. The other produce music as well. I'm a sound engineer by profession, so and stuff like that also with the worship in the background. Play guitar and stuff. And we do events too, but now lockdown.
Yeah.
Events. And we do acoustics. We design acoustic panels, acoustic whatnot. To make we want to transform people's bedrooms into studios and whatever. And we also do 2 other things. One of our aims is to engineer actual audio equipment, like the high-tech stuff. yeah, we've got quite a lot of things
That's awesome.
in store. So the radio is just one part.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal.
So do you have any like partners in this business? Solo operation?
No, it's a solo sort of, but I'm friends. I've got a lot of people like around me.
Yeah, who like collaborate.
Yes, exactly. What have you got advice?
Yeah,
He's
that's
working like 24-hour days.
Yeah, sure.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
It's hectic. It's really hectic.
Nah, I completely know. I've got dreams to start a creative studio, like a design studio.
Sorry, the design studio.
Yeah. Also involved in lots of things.
Yeah.
Like branding, music, fashion. So I can relate to having a dream that's multifaceted and takes a lot of jagging.
Especially in a creative space.
Yeah.
You have to think, it's like different streams of income. Like we have students who teach music, I teach as well, I teach guitar and stuff like that. So that's one other stream of income. There's radio is a stream of income. Producing, we've got a few clients, stuff like that. Because one wants to do an EP of 10 songs, one would want to do 14 tracks. There's, yeah, so it's quite a lot of things like that.
Dude, you got your work cut out.
Yeah, I can say that again. It's hectic, man.
Yeah.
It's hectic, yeah.
No, it's still, don't worry.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was laughing at you. Said, did you drink any medication when you were in grade 7 with your flu when God healed you?
Nah.
Okay, I wanted to ask you
I kept laughing because of him.
because I was thinking, did you drink any medication?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what's going to happen. Please carry on talking.
It's like weird moment.
It is.
It's,
Okay, so after this one.
So, which year are you in?
I'm in fourth year, final year.
Fourth year, final year.
Yeah.
Can't remind them.
Okay, that's
After this,
Super keen to be done. Like, super keen to get this thing going.
To launch outright. So one of some of the most exciting times. Actually actualizing and realizing the dream, the thoughts, the desires that you had.
Yeah.
Like seeing it come to life.
Yeah.
It's a moment.
So when did you graduate?
I graduated in 2016.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was matric for me. So I'm a little behind.
It's fine.
4 seconds.
You don't have to wait to the end, like.
Defeats the purpose. Sounds nice.
Sorry.
And that was Rob with Old Friend, and he just explained to us what the song title means and everything about the song.
And his whole entire life story.
Yeah,
Which we
that
enjoyed
too.
listening to.
Yeah, squished into like 20 minutes. Here we go.
Okay, so we're going to quickly explain Agape Top 10 for the listeners and for you. So basically, a bunch of artists have submitted their music to us, and each day we're going to be playing music from that album, that playlist actually, and then the top artist of that day gets posted on our Facebook page. And at the end of the week, on Saturday, it is announced who is the winner, and that person gets a prize.
Hey.
Okay. So the listeners, if you're listening, you can vote for the artist. You can't vote for him, he's not added on the playlist yet. But the number is 06799444546. So, a question to you is, do you have any goals for this year?
I got a lot of goals for this year. I like to journal a lot, and I think that having goals is vital. So, a couple of them are, like, I don't want to make, so some of them I have to keep to myself, because if you make promises, people are like, when's that thing, when's your EP, when's your song coming out, all that kind of stuff. But one of them is to organize events that foster creativity and connection. So recently had a super small scale, like just getting together a bunch of friends and painting / printing on t-shirts and that kind of thing, which was a lot of fun. So that's one of the goals this year. Like I mentioned earlier, working with Oxygen Life, I got, there's a lot of things that are in the pipeline there in terms of releases. And then just to finish up studies, man, to pass. That's a goal for sure.
What year are you doing at the moment?
I'm in my final year of music tech, so almost done.
Okay, thank you so much, Rob, for joining us. for a whole entire 35 minutes. It was good. Thank you so much for coming.
Cool, thanks for having me.
Closing statements you want to tell the listeners? Tell them to follow your YouTube page.
Yes,
listen to your
yes,
music,
of course.
anything
Do all
like
of those
that?
things. So you can find me YouTube and Instagram at Warmer Heights with an R, not an L like the suburb. And yeah, man, I think my parting words would just be like, do those things you've been scared to try. Yeah.
Peace out.
Oh, yeah, cool.
Okay, we're going to be playing Holy Spirit by Adele.